Hello everyone. Would you care for a round of Gwent? Because this is a thing, and I am so happy that it is. So for those of you that don't know, Gwent was a minigame card game in Witcher 3, which by the way is an absolute masterpiece of a game and one of my favourites of all time. In the minigame, you'd go around collecting cards by winning them off people and buying them, and then use your ever-increasingly strong deck to basically become the king of games. Like, it got to the point where Geralt would be there talking to a woman, she'd be crying, going, "A werewolf has eaten my son, please hunt him down," and his response would be, "Okay, but would you like a round of Gwent first?" It's just like, I'm not even exaggerating. So players got very addicted to the minigame. Me too. I have many hours playing it, to the point where everyone just hoped and wanted and requested a standalone game, and Project Red, being the champions they are, delivered, and they have delivered in a very good way. So for those of you that knew how it went down in Witcher, it's very much the same Gwent, but rebalanced. There's loads more cards and a lot of cooler effects, but the main draw is just the sheer polish in this game. Like, I knew this would be good, but not this good. I honestly think that this CCG can stand up there with Hearthstone. I really do, especially if you are into the incredible world of The Witcher. Hell, even just the music and the artwork and just the fact that everything just glows in this really nice way and it just works so smoothly, and oh my god, I've never been so excited to be using a menu before. I'll stop though, I will stop gushing and we will actually get into this and see how your average round of Gwent goes down. We got ourselves 4 factions: the Northern Realms, the Knights in Armor and their catapults and glorious battle. We have ourselves the monsters, the griffins, the ghouls, the filth clawing its way up from the sewers to steal your baby at night. Now, it's also my favourite faction, so don't judge. We got the Scoia'tael, mystical magic and elves, and then we have the Skellige, the berserkers on the battlefields, the longbows, the Viking themes, and some cool nature-based magic. We're going to go with Northern Realms because it's a very good beginner deck and will help you get a grip for this. That is one angry dwarf. That guy is like, I can't believe this is happening. And then suddenly He-Man.
Onward! Attack!
And yes, indeed, you have yourselves a little lovely verbal exchange. In fact, every card has some awesome voice work behind it when you play it. You'll notice a lot of Hearthstone-esque themes, and while obviously Hearthstone didn't come up with them, Hearthstone, admittedly irrelevant of the terrible balance and horrible RNG, does have a very engaging, well-designed player experience, from the menus to how weighty and personality-filled the cards feel, and Gwent really has that going for it too. We have ourselves our sizable opening hand here, and you can choose to mulligan a few of them if you don't like what you've got. So for example, I can get rid of this guy, and instead we have this scout now, but honestly, I kind of like the rest of my cards. I guess I'll get rid of him just in case, because I do have some much more potent cards in my deck, which I kind of hope to get. The Field Medic definitely is one of them. Alright, I'll accept the rest, that is fine, and here we are on the field of battle. Each faction gets its own little perk. For example, as you just saw, the Scoia'tael chooses who goes first. Now, like a card game, I'm going to play a card, my turn will end, the opponent will play a card, his turn will end, and we go back and forwards until somebody is the first to win 2 rounds in a row. And that is a very key element of Gwent. It's not just one round, the winner's decided, off you go, find a new opponent. It is always a first to 2. And this is key because it allows the main strength and element of strategy in this game to really come to the fore. So for now, I'm just going to whack down this cavalry.
Finally.
And let my opponent have a go. So your hand then, the reason you get such a big opening hand is because drawing cards isn't really a thing in this game. It's very rare that you get to draw cards. It's a very premium effect, and you have to constantly have that in mind, because your hand is your entire set of resources, generally, for the entirety of the up to 3 rounds you're going to play. So what you'll find yourself doing in Gwent a lot is tactically losing rounds, which is something that really you don't see in other card games like this, because for example, if I play a few strong cards, bait my opponent into spending, let's say, 5 cards to counter them, so they're technically winning their round, their score here is higher than my score, but then I deliberately pass and withdraw from the round, they get a point, yes, but for the next 2 rounds, I have overwhelming card advantage and should be able to take 2 in a row and win the overall match. So you always have to think 10 steps ahead in Gwent. And then, coupled with the fact that you can only play 1 card a turn, you really are encouraged to ponder your hand and really choose the most impactful card possible, because you want to win, but you want to win with the minimum overkill going. So it's this very delicate strategy that just has a lot of surprising depth and layers to it for a game where on the surface you just take turns playing a card and seeing who can get the biggest number, and that's what makes it so compelling. And the actual game itself then is structured like a card game to represent a war. Each side of the board is a battlefield and your factions are fighting. You have your melee row, you have your range row, and your siege equipment row. So for example, this guy, I can choose one of my own and give him a little bit of a power-up, which is very nice and dandy. So you don't want to completely commit to one of the 3 rows, because there are lots of magics and effects that affect a row in particular, both positively and negatively. So all your eggs in one basket tends to not be the best strategy in the world. So right now, my opponent has got 4 cards, and 3 more, so 7. I don't know why I felt the need to break that up into a quick maths problem. Wonderful. And I've also got 7, so we're kind of drawing in terms of card advantage, though I do have more power. So what I'm thinking is, honestly, I'm going to pass here. I'm going to be like, you know what? I withdraw from this round. I'm currently winning. You feel free to play as many cards as you want to take the round from me. I'm okay with that. He's going to throw away Torrential Rain, which makes everything on the siege have 1 power. So weather effects affect each row. There's 1 for each type of unit, and it affects both sides. So you want to make sure that you don't screw yourself over when you use them, and you build your deck around the weather that you want to use, assuming you do, of course, want to use weather. So they played 2 cards, took the round from me, and now we draw 2 cards for the next round. This is your only guaranteed draw in the game when a round ends. And the thing is, I have 10 cards to his 8, which is huge in Gwent. So I'm going to just immediately Scorch and remove his 10 strength unit. That's a very effective use of it. Scorch will kill the highest strength unit on the battlefield that isn't gold quality. So as you can see, every card has a border. There is the bronze, which is just your fodder crappy cards, although a lot of them still have really nice effects. And then you have the silver borders, which are a little bit better, kind of like your epics in Hearthstone. And then there are gold borders, which are your hero units, famous characters with very powerful, cool effects. And then within that, you also have common, rare, epic, and legendary rarity on the cards themselves. So there's a kind of fairly complex system going on in terms of the varying strength properties of each card, which I'll get into more when we look at deck building. So he then went with a 7, so I'm going to whack down this ballista, which will let me chip away at him, reduce his power by 2. If you reduce a power to 0, it does destroy the unit, so you've got to think about that when you are using it. So each hero as well, and in the future you will be able to choose a different faction leader for your deck, but each faction leader has an ability. For example, Foltest over here can clone one of my units as long as it's not a golden one. So for now, I'm going to whack down an 8 strength knight, because being able to duplicate that is my best bet considering my current hand. He's doing a little bit of powering up there, but that is fine, and he is doing himself a little bit of targeting. You okay there, bro? You okay? You're struggling a little bit, K-Fard. Just Use it. Yep, there you go. Proud of you. Yep, I don't know why you were even considering zapping your own unit, but you know what? Whatever floats your boat. Generally, I find water is preferable. Now to play some Poor Infantry, and they have an ability that clones themselves, which is pretty good. The sad thing about Poor Infantry is they've been nerfed, because in The Witcher, they used to be known as Poor Fucking Infantry, which was just even more depressing, and I loved it, but there we go. So, my Scoia'tael opponent is using their power, which lets them replace one card in their hand with another, which is very, very potent because you can cherry pick the right card for the situation. It's a very strong faction ability, but I'm still fairly confident in this. I mean, we are 13 to 13, which is very nice. What I'm going to do now...
My studies are more important than this.
and play Sela de Transaville, which will let me weaken my opponent. So now I'm 19 to 9, which is a fairly strong lead, to then immediately get scorched away. Damn it! I mean, I'm still winning, but I can't throw around anymore because I will lose the overall game. So I think for now I'm going to play this and power up my... lovely units like thusly. So this guy is very cool because he comes with 2 himself, which kind of sucks, but he does add 2 lots of 3, which makes him very potent because it's very useful to spread your power out. Now look, this is a fantastic position that I'm in. I have 3 cards to my opponent's 1, so they are honestly kind of screwed. They really are. I have basically won this, and he played his last one and suddenly went up to 28, which is very, very good, but it's not quite 29, and you don't have any cards left, so I'm just going to pass and claim this win, and then go into the final round, well, a little bit smugly. You can't really do better than only winning by 1 point. Now, unfortunately, that guy gets to stay on the field thanks to his ability, but I have 3 cards to 1. What's he gonna do? My field medic brings back a random unit, and it shows him, which can then buff the field medic. That is just awesome. But what you'll notice in Gwent is that RNG is just not really a factor. Like, in terms... Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, I'm sure that's a coincidence. I'm sure that my opponent did not at all just quit that. No, they would never do such a thing. God damn it, it is a closed beta. It matters not. Christ. So there you go. I was about to win, take the 2nd point. And when you end the game, you do gain a bit of XP. You can send your opponent a GG, which is rewarded, a sign of good sportsmanship. And you can work towards the rewards for leveling up. It's a shame I didn't get to show you that because of Salty McSalty over there. Alright, so a CCG then. You're wanting new cards. How do we acquire new cards? And the shop in Gwent is fantastic. Meet my favorite shopkeeper ever.
Cheapest the barrels in this land.
We have
soup, eat, yum,
card
healthy soup.
Barrel Troll. Trolls in the Witcher universe are wonderful, and this is the pricing scheme, and honestly, I don't think it's that bad, and the reason for that is they've put an exceptional system to protect players from horrendous bad luck. You know when you're playing a card game and you keep opening, in this case, card barrels, but you don't get that rare and powerful card that you really need to make your deck sing, and because of that you feel weaker than you should be and you lose because your opponent has, air quotes, better cards? Well, in this, they have mitigated that a lot. So let's open a barrel. And it's very nice. The troll grabs it from both ends and really squeezes hard. God, I love it when a troll does that. And then we get 4 common cards. That's all lovely. Random selection from neutrals to faction specific. So instead of the usual 1 guaranteed rare or above, etc., what Gwent does is give you an option to choose from 3 in each pack. How neat is that? So you're guaranteed a choice of one of 3 rare and powerful cards. This way you get what you want a lot quicker, and it feels a lot less RNG screwing you over when you don't get the good stuff. I think it's a really nice system, and I think it's going to make a lot of players a lot less frustrated when it comes to opening packs. So I'm going to take the Behemoth because I do like the monster decks, and I need more of them, and we'll open our other one because really, I just can't resist. Hey, 2 more monster cards. That's definitely useful, and this time, another selection of rares. You can get a triple selection of epics and a triple selection of legendaries, so that's where the luck does come in. So we'll take the other Wild Hunt Rider. So there we have it, a very, very nice opening system. Obviously, you can judge for yourself if you think those prices are fair. Personally, because of the rare selection, I'm totally cool with it. So, to actually making a deck then, we'll go over this quickly. It's very nice, and also we get a little bit of info that Nilfgaard, the next faction, is coming soon. These guys are kind of like the military Northern Realms, but with more of a focus on spies and subterfuge and dirty tactics. What spy units let you do is you can actually play them to your opponent's side of the field, which will give them strength, but they also tend to come with a negative effect that you want to take advantage of. So it's a very neat type of card. And also, eventually the cards will be animated like Geralt here is, which gives them even more personality and makes you care about your cards more, and it's just nice extra polish to have them all moving and animated. I've seen quite a few moving from common bronzes all the way to the big golds, so I don't think it will be reserved for just the impressive cards. So the deck builder works like this. You get the board, you can see where your cards would go, and that is all just really nice. It's a lovely visual aid to constructing your Gwent deck. And as you can see on the left, this is what I was referring to earlier, you have a min of 25 and max of 40, so you can vary your deck size depending on your strategies, because monsters tend to want a bigger deck because they swarm to the field, they pull cards out of their deck. You can only have 6 silver cards and 4 golds. This is key. This prevents you from just stacking your deck with the best cards and overwhelming your opponent with your wallet, which is something that you could do in Witcher, because you could just have 20 hero legendary cards and beat everyone. So it's very nice that they are restricted, and you want to choose the ones that really help you out properly, such as the prize-winning cow. What a beaut! Now, I'm not going to finish making the deck because currently saving decks is broken, so it's kind of pointless, but there you have it. That's how that goes down. Alrighty then, to round this off, let's play one final game as my favorite faction, the Monsters. We'll play a little bit quicker this time because I won't be as explainy as much, and we'll just have some... God, that person looks angry to have an arrow in their chest. I mean, granted, that's understandable, but he's just like, I can't believe you've done this. And we didn't even get to... Even get to play there. That's how angry he was to have an arrow in his chest, apparently. God damn it. Give me an unworthy opponent. Now, I know, there's no opponents that are worthy for me, but at least try. Yeah.
Press those vermin!
You shall die, worm.
Oh yes. So one thing I do want to really stress in this game, and it's one of the reasons that I really think that Gwent has the potential to be a proper competitive, respected card game, and that reason is there is very little RNG influence. I hinted on this before, but 90% of what decides a game is clever card usage and strategy. There's never a moment where you're like, oh great, I guess I lost because my opponent had that card and I lost the dice roll and fuck everything. That just doesn't tend to happen so much more than other card games, and that's so refreshing to actually be properly rewarded for good deck building and strategic thinking. Oh, it's just a breath of fresh air, and it's divine. At the end of a game, you're always left thinking, oh, I could have done this better, I could have played that card instead of that card, I could have held on to that one, oh, I could make this deck and strategy, and I'm excited to try again with better skills, and that is so good for a card game, it really is. And Gwent Gwent has that in spades. It's the biggest praise I can give it. It really is. And honestly, it's a very simple overall game. There's not much going on here. And I don't even mean in how you play Gwent itself, just the whole game as a package. It is just a mini game expanded. But the thing is, it works so well and it's so addicting that it doesn't need to be more. It is just quality. So let's get on with this. Okay, I don't want to play that just yet. I think we'll go with the Neckett. Now, the concern I'm having is that I'm very low on cards compared to my opponent here. And that's not good. In fact, that's really, really not good. I'm gonna play this, I suppose, and we have 0 breedable monsters. That is excellent. God, the base decks are just terrible. You really want to make your own as soon as you can. Christ, look at that. I have to pass. Like, I have to pass. There's nothing else here. There's just nothing else for me to do. I'm getting crushed. There's no point throwing cards away at a losing battle. There really isn't. I will take this loss. To be fair, he really has overcommitted. There's no guarantee that I am going to lose here, but I did draw a Foglet, so really that's kind of pathetic without, you know, the fog to give it its bonus, but that's okay. That's totally fine. Somehow play a 9 strength card, please. That'd be real chill. I mean, granted it's 7 cards to 7, but mine are just so much worse. Like, so unbelievably worse. I'll play Scorch, which at least removes his 9 strength, which is very, very good for me. You want to be using it on something very powerful like that. Leave my poor Fire Elemental alone. He's done nothing to you. He's just chilling. He's just having a good time, and you're just making it really weirdly personal. Alright. I guess we will play a whole 3 strength rider. It's just so depressing, isn't it? It really is. The one thing I will say is sometimes you can feel like your deck is weak, but really that's with the starter decks. When you build your own, you're not going to build it so it does have these kind of pathetically terrible cards. If I can win this round, I might actually win in general. But even then, I'm not convinced. I really am not. I've got 22 power to play, which is very good. But he has 2 cards and he already has a 7 lead. So unless he happens to have some terribly crap ones... Oh, Scorch isn't horrendous. We only lose 6. Alright, well, we will play Eredin. That brings it to 15 to 12. So hopefully he doesn't have anything insane here. Like 5 or less. Please, just 5 or less. Thing is, I'll probably win if his final card is 5 or less. Come on. Come on, Zaveth. I believe in you to have... He passed. He only bloody went and passed, which was actually really smart there. So, ironically to what I was just saying, this round is going to come down to a little bit of RNG. Whichever card I happen to keep on the board is going to make a huge difference here. Come on. Ah, it's a 1. And I drew a clear skies. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Well, at least I get to show you both sides of Gwent, you know. The times when it's this lovely deep strategy game, and then sometimes when you have shit all left to help. Unless he has not... a actual strength card. That would be hilarious if he has weathers. Yeah, he doesn't! We both passed, so we ended in a tie! That's great. Good game, my friend. Good game. So that's the good game that you can send. It appears as a little symbol. I guess I don't deserve one. And here you get the level up. Oh, there we go. He did send me a GG. That was... amazing. So you get additional rewards if you get sent a GG, which is always nice. What a game of Gwent! You do have awesome little moments like that. But there you go, an overall lovely, polished, addicting, deceptively simple card game set in a wonderfully rich world with just fantastic art and voices, and it's just great. It's just lovely. I don't really have a bad thing to say about this, and that is rare for a game. Like, if you've enjoyed this, let me know if you want to see more, because I would love to do lots of Gwent content and streams and just everything. I'm in love with this. My name has been Rage. Oh, goodbye.